Could not pull this off, quite frankly, without this next gentleman. Stalwart, and I think over the 30-plus years, and particularly in since the Paris-Glendenning campaign, we were one of the few. They told us it couldn't be done. And I teamed up along with him and put together a response team, and we took this date and we got ourselves a governor who, in my opinion, was one of the finest we ever had. But today I continue to believe that when he gives his word, it's kept. When he stands up for a cause, you know it's the right cause. He is a labor leader par excellence. Please warmly greet the gentleman, Mr. Gentleman of Labor, Mr. Glenn Middleton.
Thank you, Senator Al-Wali. Thank you. The congressional Republicans keep claiming that they want to grow this economy, yet they aren't doing anything to create jobs. It seems like American workers won't get jobs until a bunch of those people in Congress lose their jobs. Right. For all the talk about how much they love this country, our country, what the congressional Republicans have done, they really would love to see President Barack Obama lose in 2012. Right. And we're not going to let that happen. That's right. They keep putting politics ahead of our jobs, of jobs for our young people. They have never seen, those Republicans have never seen a tax cut they didn't really like, especially for the wealthy. Yet they don't want to extend and expand the payroll tax rolls to put $1,500 into the average family homes. They won't lend a hand to working families, all of you. Right. They'd rather hand out more taxes to that 1%. That's right. Those rich folks. That's why the 99%, all of you that are here today, who we are, from Madison, Wisconsin to Manhattan, New York, from California to Connecticut, from Washington, D.C. to Baltimore to Florida to Maine, we are standing up with the Main Street movement. They're saying we are sick and tired of Wall Street getting richer and richer while everybody else is going broke. Don't you agree? I believe this movement was sparked by the uprising in Wisconsin last winter for working families, when people stood in solidarity to fight the attacks on our collective bargaining. This movement has brought labor unions, civil rights groups, the National Action Network, students, faith-based organizations, and other progressive groups together like never before in America. It's about time that we make sure our elected officials are more accountable and align not just with working families, but align with the working poor. In fact, we're more united than we've been in 30 years. Our unity helped us to take 2 Republican seats in Wisconsin and defeat an anti-collective bargaining governor in Ohio. But also, we're still fueling the movement to recall Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker. We're working on that right now as we speak. It is vital that we keep working together, all of us, to fight any budget cuts that will lead to significant job losses or cuts in programs such as Medicare and Medicaid. These measures would ultimately lead to more pain and suffering across this entire country. And I must close by saying we must all continue to stand together to demand that this 1% that all of us are a part of do the fair share to put our nation back on the right track, and that Congress act now to create jobs for all of us and create jobs to lift the burden off the backs of the working poor. On behalf of ASME, I just want to thank you, but especially now, we have another ASME leader coming up. My president is here. Before he comes up, Dale Chase, our statewide president, but Patrick Moran, the executive director of ASME Maryland Council 982.
All right. Thank you, Brother Glenn. Good evening, sisters and brothers. ASME Maryland is proud to join the National Action Network in 25 cities across our nation tonight to continue to raise the issue of jobs and justice for 99% of hardworking middle-class Americans and working-class Americans. Yeah. We are the 99%. Come on. Yes. And as last time I checked, when I learned in school, a good public school, by the way, 99% is greater than 1%. Americans across the country have spoken up. And they've said, we're sick and tired of a country that is run to benefit 1% of the population.
That's right.
It's time to bring the corporate agenda to an end.
That's right.
And it starts with common sense approaches that create jobs for the 99%, that put money in the pocket of the 99% so they can go spend that money and employ people across this great country.
Yes.
There are some great, right-wing politicians here in this country that want to reward the 1% and Wall Street that put us in this financial ruin.
That's right.
Like Mitt Romney, who says that corporations are people. Well, wrong, Mitt, or Mittens as I like to call them. Corporations are the 1%. People are the 99%. Or last week, like Newt Gingrich, who said, poor kids don't know how to work. Poor people don't know how to work. Saying to replace those janitors in the schools that provide those great clean schools and services for those kids, let's give the kids the jobs. Let's get rid of labor laws. Let's put kids back to work. Well, I have news for Newt. Poor folks know how to work. They know how to work hard. They know how to work honestly. They want to work. Unfortunately, you and your friends have not allowed folks to work because you've demolished work and the economy in here. You know what they don't know? They don't know how to lie and cheat and steal and rob from the American people like you, Newt, and like your friends that have stolen it from everything from our economy and our good folks. Newt, if you please remember that 99 is greater than 1. I don't think he learned that in school, but even though I think he was a college professor at one point. In the toughest economic times, in more than 3 generations, the right-wing politicians want to let the millionaires get a free pass and make hard-working middle-class families sacrifice even more. The right-wing politicians are saying, don't tax the rich, they're the job creators. They need a tax holiday to create jobs. They had 10 years, the last 10 years of tax breaks and holidays, and they created no jobs, nothing. And we've paid the price for them. We foot their bill. They got their mortgages paid for, and our folks got put out on the street.
That's right.
It's holiday season. I urge the Congress of the United States, I urge them, I implore upon them, give a tax holiday to the 99%. Give them the money to put in their pockets, to put out on the street, to put into the community, and you'll see returns. You'll see people going back to work. You'll see the jobs that we need. Do the right thing. Let's get the 99 back to work. Let's get America back to work, because 99% is greater than 1%. Thank you.
You represent the people that are showing up every day, making sure that all of our lives are a lot easier. So again, I want to thank you for the work that you do every day to make this state better, to make this city better. And the postal workers, excellent. Very good. And again, I know I'm going to stick to the 90 seconds, just to say that it's a real honor to be in the House of Delegates and to be able to stand up for you. The way, again, the least I can do is to represent your interests. I sit on the Appropriations Committee. When your contracts come up, when people are looking for the right to collectively bargain, one of the things that the state of Maryland can always do to make sure that there are fair wages and good working conditions is to protect the collective bargaining rights of every single American in this country. Also, one of the things that we can do is pass the millionaire's tax in the state and make sure that everybody's paying a fair wage. We should also incentivize or pass a living wage for everyone that gets a state contract to not be able to underbid. And make sure that, again, that every woman-owned minority business has a fair shot against the larger businesses and corporations in the state. And again, as a Maryland State Delegate, that's where I stand. I stand with you, and I appreciate you standing with me. So have a great night.
where Governor O'Malley said that 38% of the jobs that have been lost since 2008 are back. 38%, and this is supposed to be progress. That means, my math's not that good, but I think that means that over 60% of those people lost their jobs because of those folks on Wall Street who were so greedy that they decided to gamble with people's homes and with people's lives. So 60% of the people that are out of work today have somebody in New York City to thank you for that. For the banks that decided that they were going to put their greed up there with their arrogance and put everybody else out of work and out of their homes. Thank goodness for organizations like this that are saying we're not going to take it anymore. We're fired up. Now, two more quick points, Sarah Young, before I stop. Unemployment is lower than what it was, but that's because of gains in the private sector. Guess who's losing jobs? The public sector. Because of what's happened with the drop in revenues because of the high unemployment, public employees all over the place are getting laid off. Now, let me just remind you, if we care about kids, we need the Department of Juvenile Services, and we need to have enough people there to care about the kids. If we care about hungry people or homeless people, we need to have enough people in the Department of Human Resources that there's not a line around the block to get food stamps. And if we care about safety, quite honestly, there have to be enough correctional officers that they're not being killed and that correct inmates aren't getting killed.
That's right.
So public employees cannot afford to continue to lose their jobs.
That's right.
Now, finally, because of that, we've created a coalition. It's a sister coalition to the National Action Network called Save Our State, SOS. And because that's what we've got to do. We've got to save the state, whether we're the ones that are giving services or whether the ones receiving services from the state. And I just want to quickly announce there's a big meeting Monday night, Baltimore City Community College, 6 o'clock. So that we can speak out. And we've invited legislators to it, and we really need to. I'm hoping that we'll be joined by everybody in the national, I think Dr. Cheatham, you've already been invited to come to this meeting. I look forward to seeing you there, and everybody else here too. Save our state! Save our state! Save our state! Save our state! Save our state!
Yeah, sure.
All right,
Great job.
All means passing. All means passing.
Thank you, Doc and Chairman Young. I've learned so much from you over the years, sir, and I don't have an opportunity to publicly state it, but thank you so much for all that you do for us and for our community. Let me be very, very clear. We need jobs, but we just don't need jobs. We need jobs that transfer over into career opportunities. We need career opportunities that provide for a living wage, a real living wage for people to take care of their families and to put food on the table. We need careers that have safe and healthy work environments. We need careers that provide opportunities for people to grow and to advance. We need careers that provide people the opportunity to advance their education and enhance themselves. We need to break the gridlock in Washington, but not just in Washington. We need the people in the state of Maryland, the elected officials, and even in the city of Baltimore to take notice. We have a Baltimore City Police Department and a Baltimore City Fire Department where the vast majority of employees are not Baltimore City residents. We need to make sure we get these recruitments back into these high schools, and we need to train our young people, and we need to get them back to work. And so I would submit to you today, yes, we've got to check Washington, but we've got to check Annapolis, and we've also got to check City Hall, and we've got to put everybody on notice that the people of Baltimore are ready to work. Thank you so much, and God bless you.
Wow, that's a lot to live up to. On behalf of Reverend Al Sharpton, our founder and president, and our executive director, Tamika Mallory, I'm very happy to be here tonight, and I'm more excited that all of you are here tonight, because really what this is all about is taking back our power. Power to the people is not just a saying, it is real life. We are the ones that send these people to Congress, or send these people to City Hall, or send these people to City Council. It is our power that they are taking and not doing what they're supposed to be doing. Now we have some good people, not all of them are bad. We have some good people here. But at the end of the day, We can't live in a society where our people don't have jobs, where they don't have homes to go to, where they don't have enough money to put food on the table because they're trying to make sure that all of their bills are paid. We can't live in a society where we're giving our power to someone else who goes and gets in their office and forgets all about us.
That's right.
We have to take back the power. And so I'm so excited to be here. I'm not going to take up too much time. Thank you, Doc and Larry, and thank you, Glenn. There you are. Thank you, Glenn. We're excited to partner with AFSCME, and we look forward to seeing more of this action. It can't start and end with today. It can't stop here. I'm excited to hear about Reverend Bryant and the job fair that's going on, but we need to continue to see more. And so whatever I can do to be a resource to people here in Baltimore City, I'm right up the highway. So please contact me. Power to the people.
It's a sad commentary when you see yourself getting set up and you go along. All right, let's get this party started. Let me hear you say, we need jobs. We need jobs. We need justice. We need justice. We need jobs. We need jobs. We need justice. We need justice. Let me first thank Glenn Middleton. Glenn, whenever we call, you always answer yes. I have to say, Senator, there are 2 additional elected officials here in the city that are here this evening. Gary English, member of the Democratic State Central Committee for the 44th District. And myself. And myself. That's right. I'll never run again, though, I take it. But on behalf of the officers and members of the National Action Network Greater Baltimore Chapter, also on behalf of our national president, Reverend Al Sharpton Jr., I thank all of you for being here.
Yes.
I too, like Senator, when I got the email, it wasn't but about 2 weeks ago, Senator, said you got to have a rally. And I said on the radio show, I was like Minister Farrakhan, I'm not doing any more marches. I'm not doing any more marches. But this one, they were careful. They said a rally. I said, okay, we'll do a rally. And then I saw the day, a Friday. A Friday. I said, Senator, looks like it's only going to be me and you there. We may have to clone ourselves. This had to be one of the most challenging. I've organized everything from a marble game, and I'm happy to say the one thing I take pride in, that I was third in command of the largest march that ever took place in America, in the United States, in Washington, D.C. You may have forgotten it, but it was the Million Man March. Yeah, right. My responsibility was the headquarters. I ran the headquarters for the Million Man March. But I said, this is the greatest challenge I ever had, to get some folks on a Friday evening, and don't tell them you're going to give them some chicken or some spaghetti and meat sauce. So it is an honor to have y'all here. And our saying is, I need you to repeat it, no justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. Reverend Sharpton gave us a very clear message, and that is that we join our allies that are in the field of labor, civil rights, faith, and I want to say a new group that has come on board that I think has raised more holy heckens. I know I got pastor here, so I got to watch what I'm saying. The pastor over there, so I got to watch my language. I am a brother from the hood. Don't let this necktie fool you. But the 99%ers, those of you that are here from the 99%ers, please stand and raise your hands. God bless y'all. Thank y'all so much. Thank y'all so much. Our community, and when we talk about our community, we're talking about communities all over the nation. It is very clear that we are now disproportionately affected by what's happening throughout America, that we're losing jobs. Those of us, and J. Howard Henderson said it correctly, last hired, first fired. We are negatively affected more so than any and everyone. I also want to thank our family from Casa de Maryland. Thank y'all folks for being here. We did a rally with Casa de Maryland a couple of years ago down at one of the parks. I think it was Curl Park. I was asked to speak, and I took the challenge so well that I said, you know what? I had Spanish in elementary school. I had Spanish in junior high school. I had Ebonics and Spanish in college. I said, I'm going to do my whole speech in Spanish. So I wrote it down. I had a guy in the office check, make certain I had everything together, the grammar was right, and I spoke it. There was one guy standing at the podium, and he kept clapping all through the speech. And at the end, I got up and said, "Did you really like what I said?" He said, "Yeah, but I was trying to encourage you to stop." So I definitely won't do Spanish again. But I say that because we have developed a partnership as well with Costa de Maryland. We're happy to say that we have Liz, who is one of their major organizers on our board. I'm happy to say with the National Action Network, and I love the NAACP is now, always will be my first love and my first passion when it comes to civil rights. Don't make a mistake because I got shucked in by the senator to do National Action Network. But my love is always with the NAACP. But not having to deal with a board that has 36 members, and half of them got knives in my back all the time that I'm president. I only have one person I gotta watch out for, and he's older than me, so I know all I gotta do is move a little bit faster, and he can't get me. But we're able to do things with the National Action Network that I haven't been able to do with other organizations. I probably, as I mentioned earlier to some folks today, I've probably been president now somewhere between 15 to 16 organizations, but this organization right now can make a significant difference in this community because we don't have a board that we have to answer to. We have a small group of committed folks that basically say, Larry's the chairman, Doc does the work, and then we all get the credit for once the work gets done. But family, we are in some very, very difficult times. I know that comes somewhat from Reverend Dr. King. There's some difficult days ahead, and it means we got to come together. You know, labor has to come together.
Yes.
Faith has to come together. We got to challenge the faith base a little bit more. I sent one to Reverend Gwen to let him know I need the ministerial alliance there. But we need all ethnicities. We need our Jewish brothers and sisters, our Muslim brothers and sisters. We need the non-faith people because we're all in this together. And, you know, we got to begin to say, and we have this problem in Baltimore, probably unlike many other urban areas. We got some differences. I got some folks that don't like me, and I don't want to say, Pastor, I don't like them either, but the Lord is working with me. But we got to put some of these differences behind us. We got to put some of these differences behind us. And when we decided to have and agreed to do this rally, I said, you know what? I'm about to do a march, and I'm not going to be happy doing a march. But when I got a call from this outstanding young lady, that is, I don't know what her official title is, but I know it has to do something with PR, but to indicate that a job fair was going to take place a little more than a month from now, I said, now we're talking. Yes. Now we're talking. We're talking about getting folks encouraged about jobs, but at the same time, we're going to educate them from a little more than a month. We're going to tell the ladies you can't have all those extensions in your hair and all those earrings and your nose and mouth going for a job. And we're going to tell the brothers you got to buy a pair of shoes, not sneakers. Folks don't want to see you with sneakers walking in. If I'm stepping on some feet, just say ouch. We're going to tell the brothers you got to pull your pants up. If you don't have a belt, we're going to buy you a belt. We're going to teach you how to get a necktie. But even now, it's real good. You can go on Greenmount Avenue, and you can actually go in the store and you can get a clip-on necktie now. You know, little kids used to have it. They got them for adults now, which means, fathers, we have not taught our boys how to tie ties. But we have to take this job problem so seriously that we have to do everything we want to prepare our community for it. And then we got to talk to folks like the Greater Baltimore Committee, the Downtown Partnership, the President's Roundtable, and tell these folks, almost all of you have gotten some way or another to write off what you should not be paying to our city. We got folks right down here, right up the street, Cherry Hill, building all of these new buildings coming up, not paying a cent to us. So we need to challenge them and say, we need some jobs. Yes. And we need some jobs now from some folks coming from Virginia. No. I ain't talking about the fire department. We don't need folks coming to the police department from Pennsylvania, which is happening. We got to get to the point and encourage this newly elected and re-elected council that we got to begin to hire folks that live and work in our communities. But we got to say it in love. We got to say it in love. And we got to talk to these businesses. You know, yes, you're bringing in employment into our community, but our community needs jobs for people who live and work and send their kids to schools right here and there. Let me hurry and finish because I know I'm going past my time. I'm going past my time. On October the 15th, 40,000 of us went to Washington, D.C. for the Jobs and Peace and Justice March. I, too, I'm tired of marching. But I'm saying I'm not tired of calling up elected officials. I'm not tired of sending emails and tuxes and all that stuff. Now, Senator's gotten very social oriented. He sends these messages, and I gotta say this, Senator. I know, because if I don't say it, you're gonna say it. Senator said, Doc, send me an email because I need you. No, send me a, what you call them things? Tweet. Yeah, send me a tweet. Everybody in Baltimore City got a tweet but him because I didn't figure out what I was doing. But I am an emailer. I am an emailer, and I reached my limit. I got 5,000 Facebook friends. Don't know any of them. Don't know any of them 5,000, but at least they communicate. Family, we have to turn this around. We have to turn this around. We have to now say, forget the differences we've had with one another. Forget the differences that organizations have with organizations. We're in this city. I'm not going anywhere. I've been here a year less than Senator. He's 62, I'm 61. He still got hair, I have no hair. But we have to say that jobs has to be our #1 priority. We have to say that. And the message has to start from here and begin to go out. So if you got email, you got Facebook, you got Twitter, you got anything, we need to send a message that the message that Baltimore City is sending, along with the other 24 cities, is jobs has to be our #1 priority. And whatever it is we have to do, and we have to begin educating our former felons to get them to be able to understand what it takes to fill out an application. And we had to start dealing with folks who basically got to the point that they got tired of looking for jobs. Because we know in Baltimore City, unemployment's got to be about 50%.
All right.
But forget the fact that they're saying it's 18%, 20%. All you have to do is walk through these communities day in and day out, and you will see at least half of us are not employed. We got to get folks to start looking, but they got to be able to look someplace where there are jobs. Which means Sheraton, I mean, we can look across the street, we can see the Marriott, we can see the Hyatt, we can see all these hotels, we can see all of these businesses that are taking money out of our communities. We got to begin knocking on those doors as leadership and say, listen, you got to find some jobs for our folks. I am so honored to bring up, or Senator, you want to bring up our next speaker? Or can I take, no, you took. I can take presidential prerogative. This is the only time I'm going to hear this on Monday radio show. Family, a lot of folks talk the talk, don't walk the walk. This pastor is walking the walk. As I said, I was so elated when I got the message that here it is, not a local union, not a civil rights organization, but a faith-based institution decided to have a major job fair. We are so honored to have with us one of our own, Reverend Dr. Jamal Harrison Bryan. And he too has his bringing up coming from the NAACP too. Because I was looking for him to be the next president, CEO of the NAACP, but I think he had a higher calling. Family, put your hands together as I introduce Reverend Dr. Jamal Harrison Bryan, Empowerment Temple in the country, #1. Hello.
Thank you, sir. I was caught off guard by the lateness of the hour for being a part of this rally, being the product of parents who are part of the civil rights movement. I grew up going to rallies and marches, but none of them this late. Most of them are early in the morning or in the middle of the day. And it dawned on me, ladies and gentlemen, that the rally is late because, quite frankly, we're late. That this should have happened a long time ago. When you think about when Dr. King was killed in 1968, he was transitioning the civil rights movement into civil rights.
That's right.
Because he understood that the next extension would in fact be economic parity. It was not an issue about blacks riding in the front of the bus. The issue was about blacks owning the bus company. And so now we've come full circle, and the civil rights community owes a tremendous debt of gratitude to the 99 percenters in Occupy Wall Street for bringing us back into focus. Poverty, ladies and gentlemen, America is finally seeing that poverty does not have a black face or a Latino face. Poverty has an American face. And all of us are struggling and all of us are suffering. While it is that we're yet standing, there are 18.3 million vacant houses in America. 18.3 million vacant houses that 36 months ago were occupied. But now, because of foreclosures and predatory lending, apartments now have waiting lists, and the prices had to go up. And so we have assembled in this place calling for jobs and for justice. And I'm not sure whether it's tongue-in-cheek or whether it's really a Freudian slip, that where will we come in the middle of the night on a Friday night, but on Bush Street, to really realize that finally we can put our foot down where it all began and where it all started. I would challenge and charge all of us as we move from this place, moving in cohesion with ASHME, National Action Network, and the Urban League and the NAACP, and for the 99 percenters who are present and the faith-based community, that we would in fact move from having a moment but reliving a movement. This is the very first time, ladies and gentlemen, that we're able to assemble after the unveiling of the Martin Luther King Monument. But I think America needs a wake-up call that civil rights cannot be etched in stone, because civil rights is still liquid. And because it is still liquid, it has to continuously find itself ever advancing. And so the call for us would be a grave injustice if we call for justice and jobs in this room and our voice never hits the street corner. And so while Senator and Doc Cheatham are tired of running, as they should be at 61 and 62, it is time for another generation to put on their tennis shoes and Timberlands and hit the streets. Amen. So that we can in fact do our share. This is the first generation of Americans that have the incredible threat of doing and living less than the standard of their own parents. That young people are 30, 35 years old, 28 years of age, with degrees from University of Maryland and Coppin and Bowie, are now living in their parents' home. Not because they're not motivated, not because they don't have a strong work ethic, not because they're the product of broken families, but because they have been robbed of opportunities. And so it is incumbent upon us that we would in fact strike a chord behind Dr. Martin Luther King's mantle that he has left to this now, the Joshua generation. The first generation that has not seen fire hoses or barking dogs, and have in fact enveloped a false sense of entitlement to get the gift of civil rights without never knowing the sacrifice of civil rights. And so we've got to push our children to the fore and unplug the Xbox and Nintendo and bring them down to Bush Street so that they would understand during this Christmas season that if in fact there's going to be any time for anybody to be jolly, we can only be jolly if we have a job and are able to work and to pursue our passion. To that end, on January the 13th, we want to invite all of you to Empowerment Temple, AME Church, 4217 Primrose Avenue. Our sanctuary holds 2,500 people, and we are cleaning that sanctuary out to make it the city, if not the area's largest job fair. We've gone, Senator, to several job fairs in the area in Montgomery County, Anne Arundel County, and all of the employers said that they don't want to come to Baltimore because Baltimore only has entry-level positions available, and they're looking for corporate structure. To that end, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be doing a job fair on steroids because earlier in the morning we're going to be doing job preparation classes to show our constituents in the community how to interview, what to wear. We're bringing in barbers and beauty salon owners to do their hair that morning and to get them ready, as well as to operate and execute the appropriate interviewing skills that are necessary to take run-on sentences out of their vocabulary, at least for the hour, just so that we can make them employable. We're going to be setting it up almost like a Walmart of social service. So the first line, first row will be of entry-level positions. The second aisle will be for technical positions. The third aisle will be service department positions. The fourth aisle will be multi-level marketing, such as 5 Links, Amway, Mary Kay. The fifth line will be for small business owners in Baltimore who want to hire apprentices and interns to come be with them. In the balconies will be opportunities for young people to get jobs so that they would in fact know a strong work ethic. It cannot happen with one church in isolation, but if all of us can in fact sacrifice a Friday night, we could in fact make an incredible difference. Last but not least, because my time is fully elapsed, what greater way for us to speak for employment and for jobs, knowing that the top 3 Republican candidates have been unemployed for the last 5 years, but are able to maintain a multi-million-dollar income. I think it says a lot about the Republican Party and their disconnect to hungry Americans who are starving for a job and for an opportunity. Herman Cain, who walked away last Saturday in disgrace, ending his campaign in his 2010 tax filings, reported an estimated income of $3.5 million with no job. I wish the people in Baltimore would have that kind of pizza delivery service to be able to have $3.5 million with no job. Mitt Romney, who is in fact the formidable lead runner, has been gainfully unemployed for the last 7 to 8 years and is estimated worth of $10 to $12 million without ever filing unemployment. It really says where is the sensitivity to understand where people are. Newt Gingrich, I won't even really talk about unemployment, but is a case study as to why America needs to in fact increase our financing on mental health. So if you would please help us in this regard to speak justice and jobs back into our community. And I want to really thank, because I know that we're in an integrated context today with blacks, whites, and Latinos together, but oftentimes the black community doesn't celebrate our leaders until after they're gone. But we owe a tremendous debt of gratitude to Reverend Al Sharpton for really keeping the fire burning and for pushing us forward. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. None of us should be able to rest, sleep, or even shop until everybody in our community has a job. Have a wonderful evening.
I had to go behind you.